Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's Steve here with the player ratings after Liverpool draw 2-2 with Tottenham Hotspur in a very controversial game down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Very interactive show this one. I need you guys to help me out a lot. We're going to go through and give every single one of these lads behind me a score out of 10. But before we do that, I need you guys to let me know who you thought Liverpool's best player was. Who was Liverpool's man of the match in that game? To do that, it's very, very, very simple. All you've got to do in the live chat on the YouTube page there that you're watching this on right now, you do an exclamation mark and the word vote in capital letters. Then you do a space and then you type in the number of the player which correlates to this list over here on the left-hand side. So, for example, if you think Allison Becker was Liverpool's man of the match in that draw, you do an exclamation mark, VOTE, space 1 and hit enter. At the end of the show, Joe, our producer, will let me know who you guys said was Liverpool's man of the match, and we'll see if that tallies up with the highest scorer that I give out. Right then, with that being said, as I go through and do all of these player ratings as well, I'd love you guys to help me out. Give me as much comments and input as you can. To do that, you don't have to type vote, no exclamation marks, nothing. If you just type the player's name, and then the number, for example, if you think it's Allison, whatever rating he is, Ali 5, Ali 6, whatever it is. And as we go through, we'll see if I can agree with you guys or if we don't. Right then, let's make a start. Allison Becker. This is a very, very tough one for me because for the most part, Allison was absolutely outstanding. The save from Dele Alli is incredible. The save from Harry Kane is amazing. Time and time again, he was sweeper keeping and doing a good job at keeping Liverpool in the game. However, he does have that mix-up with Trent Alexander-Arnold where he doesn't come out of it looking particularly well. And then obviously the second goal as well, that Tottenham scored, basically Allison has to do better. He misses that one. So I'm kind of at a loss of what to give Allison in terms of a mark. So if you guys in the live chat want to give me a shout and let me know what marks you think Allison should get, I'll read a few of those out now. Because I'm thinking just how good he was, and then that one mistake, how much do we drop him for, if that makes sense. I'm not 100% sure. We've got Zueto, I think that is there, who says 7. We've got Sinju, who says Allison and Robbo were our two best players, but they were both at fault for that two big mistakes. It's crazy. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. Pep Dog says give Allison an 8. Michael says give him an 8. Donut says 7. Sinj says 7. Jake says 7. Lil X says 7 as well. Morgs gives him an 8. Graham says Allison 7 for an absolute howler for the second. Scotty 6. It was an average mistake. A man says 8 big saves. Pep Dog says 8. Ali 8 because we could have lost that game without him. And I tend to agree. It's one of those where how much you knock him for that one mistake because it's a bad one, but he does so much good as well. I'm gonna split the difference, and I'll give Allison Becker a 7.5. I think that's fair. I think he makes some world-class saves that we didn't expect him to make. And one time, if Dele Alli scores that chance, or if Harry Kane scores his chance, not one person would have pointed the finger at Allison Becker and said he could have done more really for it. So he does keep us in the game, but ultimately, Spurs' equaliser comes from a mistake that Allison should never make. It's a tough balance to take, but I'm going to split the difference and give him a 7.5. Speaking of hard marks, I've got zero idea what to give Andy Robertson here. Get an assist, get a goal, get a red card. Diogo Costa would be proud of that one, wouldn't he, for Chelsea? That used to be his forte as well. What do you guys think I should give Andy Robertson then? Because my thoughts, by the way, on the red card, and we'll be going more in depth on this on Instant Match Reaction over on Redmen Plus later when me and Chris have a chat. I actually think it was a red card. I do think it was a sending off. However, I think Harry Kane should have been sent off as well. I think Liverpool should have had a penalty as well for Diogo Jota, the foul on him. But in this specific instance, I actually think it was reckless from Andy Robertson, and I think it was very unnecessary for him to get sent off there. Tottenham had just scored, and Robbo sees a little bit of red mist, and I think it is a red. But he has a really good game. He has the goal, he has the assist. I'm finding it difficult what to give him, so I'm going to go down to you guys, see what you think. Air Fresh says 9. We've got Luke, give the man a 10. We've got Lil X, who says 8. I think the red card was harsh. Robbo was boss today, but he should know he's got a target on his back, says Demolition Rob. Michael Fox says Robbo gets a 9, goal, assist, and his red was unfortunate. Same as Allison, 7.5, involved in both of our goals, and it would have been a 9 if not for his red card. Madness Donut says give him an 8. Man's a machine and is always a fighter, 9, says Graham. A man gives him a 9, calls him his man of the match. Billy Bob says 7, Jake 9, although it was a red. Paul Rowling says 8. We know Spurs will never beat us, even if they did get Robbo sent off, says Luckman as well. And I'd say 8, says Weto. Great play, but he thought he could get away with one after being tackled by Kane, and the red mist came down. Yeah, I'm going to give Andy Robertson an 8, because I think it was silly for the red card. I think he probably gets it's almost a 10 out of 10 performance, but you've got to knock him down for those 2 marks, because ultimately it was 2-2 at this point, but it pretty much cost Liverpool a chance of going to try and get a third goal. The second we had to go down to 10 men and take the players off. Sadio eventually has to come off so we could get Costas on the pitch. It pretty much cost Liverpool, and I think he'd admit that himself. It was reckless. Listen, don't get me wrong, he was very, very good for the most part, and he's lucky that he was still on the pitch himself, Robertson, when he got sent off, because Harry Kane could have broke his leg. Jürgen referenced this in the comments after the game. He did say, if Robbo wasn't in the air, his leg could have been broken, and I agree. But ultimately, I think it was. I mean, James here saying, I don't think it was a red. James Lynn, one of our members. I disagree, James. I think it was a red. I think it was very reckless from Robertson and very, serious foul play, overly aggressive, unnecessary as well, in a meaningless position on the pitch. He tried to basically lay one on the lad, and I think it was a red card. Random person says, crazy to give him an 8, he performed well, but he got a red 5. Yeah, I disagree with 5, because I think I'm not knocking 5 points off somebody for getting a red card. I think, goal, assist, overall good play. I think he was a 10 out of 10 performance, pretty much, up until that point he got sent off, which is why I've given him an 8. Sorry, go back to James says, if Kane's isn't a red, neither is Robbo's. I think they're both reds, to be honest. I think, but it's a balance. It's butterfly effect. Harry Kane should never have been on the pitch in the first place to get Tottenham back into the game. Yada, yada, yada. I don't think the ref had a very good game. Ibu Konate then. Thought he was very good. I thought Konate had a very, very good game. Let me know what you guys think there. Geordie lad says Konate should be the man of the match. Well, I say, you guys can vote for your man of the matches as we go through the stream. Again, exclamation mark, vote, VOT, and then a number that correlates to the player, and that's how you'll vote for that. Let's have a little look then. Demolition Rob says, Konate was great, he's coming into his own. Great option is Verge, has some issues like he did today. Key passing, I'd give him an 8. Allison gets a 3. I'm going, don't know about that one. Mohammed gives Ibu an 8 as well. We've got, let's see, Eba 8, no faults, says Michael. Konate starts to gain some experience, says Little X. Konate 6.5. He's a beast, but he got dragged out of position time and time again and too aggressive at times, says Singe. 6.5. Got 7s from James as well. I'm going to give Konate, I'm going to go in the middle again. I'm going to split the difference and say 7.5. I thought he was pretty good. First, he was very good, actually. I agree with the out of position part at times, but for the most part, I'm quite happy to give him a 7.5. Joel Matip then went on some ridiculous runs forward, didn't he? Nearly created a couple of chances, nearly ends up having a shot himself. He's very, very good with the ball at his feet. Let me know what you guys think, Matip, how he did as well. Again, I don't think we can blame Joel for any of the goals, really. I know that he's caught out by the run of Son, but listen, Son is quicker than Joel Matip. News shock, it's one of those. And actually, Matip's in the right position because he leaves enough room for his goalie to come and do the sweeper-keeper job that he's meant to do. Unfortunately, Allison couldn't quite get it right, so I don't think we can blame Joel for too much there. Let me have a little look in the comments, see what you guys think Joel gets. Nevman is here, says 6. We've got Matip gets a 6, says Bashment Mixer. We've got Hertlick says Matip 8. Fahid gives Matip a 6. Paul 7, Jake 6. Singe gives him a 7. Sweto gives him an 8. Matip probably runs marathons the way he brings the ball up the pitch. He's underrated, says Rob. Matip gets 8 because he was sick going forward, says Michael Fox. Mashiro says 7 as well. Matip made no mistakes and Kite is the one who left a massive gap in midfield. Now, I'm going to say 7 for Joel Matip. I thought he was no, you know what? I'm going to give him 7.5. I think he was equally as good as Konate. I don't think they were at fault. Trent Alexander-Arnold, then what I would say about Trent, and I don't know if this is his fault, I don't think it is his fault. I think it's the nature of how we play at the moment and the positions we ask him to take up. The ball over his head was on a lot. And more often than not, they got some success out of it. Again, I'm not particularly blaming Trent, because actually when it got there, he actually dealt with it, I think, pretty well. But it was always there for Tottenham. I think actually the problems for that come further forward in terms of a lack of press on the ball or giving the ball away too easy. I don't think Trent covers himself in glory for the first goal. I think it's a loose pass. That doesn't do Naby Keita no favours. I don't think Keita does really well either, by the way. I think he kind of farts out of a tackle a little bit, and we'll get to him in a minute. But I think Trent, yeah, I don't think it was a great ball by Trent. He obviously gets the assist for the goal with a very, very well-drilled cross as well. I'm going to go to you guys first while I make up my mind. So, I don't know how to say your name. I think it's ZK2. I'm going to go for ZK2. ZK2 says 7. Sin says 7. Mohammed says 7. Michael says 7. Paul says 8. We've got 7.5. We've got Jake says Trent went missing in the second half, 6. Neverman is here. One of our members says 6 as well for Trent. I'm going to give Trent 6.5. I don't think he does well for the goal at all, but overall he gets an assist, like I say. He was all right. Not his best, but not his worst. He almost scores a very good goal as well with his left foot. But yeah, we'll go with that one. Right then, the midfield. Quite a lot of Liverpool's issues came from this part of the pitch. I don't know how to... Do you dig the young lad out because of his first game? Do you compensate for that? Or do I just give a mark to Tyler Morton based on what I saw in the time that he was on the pitch? I think, in fairness, what I should do is just judge him as he's a Liverpool player, so I've got to give him a mark based on the fact that he was playing for Liverpool in midfield. Let me know how you guys think of Tyler Morton in the centre mid then, because for me he struggled a lot. I don't think it was his best game at all. I think at times his positioning wasn't great. He looked a little bit lost at times. Yeah, not ideal really. Not an ideal game for him to have to play. Obviously the COVID issues that Liverpool have got and the injury issues combined and the illness issues combined meant he had to play. But in hindsight, I wonder if Jürgen regrets putting him in there. I don't know. Let me have a look what you guys think. James Lim, 6.5 for Tyler Morton. Paul, not his best game, 6. Can't fault Morton. On the boy, looked class, but was tasked with the Fabinho role, which he struggled with, says random person. And I tend to agree with that. That's kind of the point I'm making. I've got to judge him as I'm judging a Liverpool number 6. We've got Morton, we've got a 5 from Anto Roberts, 6 from Michael, 7 from Sound. Luchman says 5, Anto, yeah, 5. Sin says 5, should have been in the game, not his fault, tried. But this isn't his level, yeah. 6.5 from Scotty, 6 from Mohammed. We've got 5s here from Natalia and 4.5 from Fordos. We've got 5 or 6 from ZK2. We've got Donor says I don't want to be harsh, but it was a 4 or a 5. Yeah, judge him as a first team player. Jake says he got a 5. Congrats to him for his debut, but I'm going to have to give him a 5 as well. I'm judging him. I get he's a young kid. I get everything about it. Debut, first start in the league and stuff, but I'm giving him a judging him the fact that he's playing for Liverpool, and that's what I'm going to give him. Right then, let's move over here to... I'll do Naby Keita first. I think he shit himself for the 50-50 challenge that led to Tottenham's goal, if I'm honest. It wasn't a great pass by Trent, but I think I want my centre midfielder to be more aggressive there and at least try and win that ball back better than he did. I think he basically farted out of a challenge, which I kind of don't like seeing Liverpool players do. With the ball, nothing spectacular. Without the ball, nothing amazing, really, from Naby, if I'm honest. First game back in. Let me have a little look what you guys think he got. James says Keita 5. Fordor says Keita 5. Alexa, we got Sound who says 6. Family T says 5. Keita gets a 4 from Luchman. He's not match fit yet, says Paul, gives him a 6. Loads of people saying, yeah. So ZK2 again says 5.5, not quite good enough. Ayez says 5. Sin says 6. Offered Morton little protection, but was dropped in without playing for ages. Alexa says 6. Gupta says 6 as well. Keita gets a 5 from Sir Scotty. I am going to say Naby gets similar to Tyler Morton. I think he gets a 5 as well. I don't think it was a good game from Naby Keita, if I'm honest. And I don't like the fact that how he did in that first goal. James Milner played about 6 different roles. I've got him stuck in centre midfield now. He ends up playing about 5 or 6 different positions. I thought of the 3 of them, he was the best. He wasn't amazing, don't get me wrong. Again, a bit loose with the ball. I think that spell when he went left back, he looked all right. I think he looked good as a number 6-ish when we were down to 10 men as well. So I'm probably going to give him a higher mark than I give to the other 2 midfielders, if I'm honest. I just haven't quite decided what it's going to be. You guys can help me out by let me know in the comment section. So we've got 5.5 from James. We've got a 3 from Utkarsh again. I think that's a bit harsh, if I'm honest. Millie gets a 6. He was pretty solid, says Michael. Millie gets a 6 from Alexia as well. We've got, he was the worst. I disagree with that. Okay, fair enough. Each to their own. Luckman says 6 as well. Unnamed says he gets a 6.5. 7 from Singe. 6 from Fordos. We've got Oswald gives him a 6.5. 7 6s. I'm going to say was everywhere and was no other help from the other mid, says Paul. Yeah, I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought he was the best of the three, but it wasn't that high of a mark. Sadio Mane then. Another game, unfortunately, for Sadio without a goal. The streak continues, but I thought he was okay. I thought he was fine. Not his best game, not his worst game. I'm struggling what to give Sadio. I've got a general feeling what I'm going to give the other two there or thereabouts, but I'm not 100% sure what to give Sadio. Let me know what you guys think. Help me out in this live chat. We've got an 8 from Passer, so we've got a 7 from Neverman is here. Mick Pango gives him a 6. We've got a 7 from Luckman. We've got a 7 from ZK2. We've got Michael. Sadio, 8. Mane was easily the best out of the three we've got there as well. 7.5. We've got 7s, 8s, 6.5. You guys are all over the place in the chat, and that's kind of where my head's at as well. I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm going to split the difference. I think he was as good as Konate and Matip, for example, so I'm going to give him a similar vote. I'm going to give him a 7.5. There we go. Right then, we've got before we move on to the next one, I've got a super chat here, but I'm going to read out. Cheers to Gareth Baird for the £5 super chat, who says, sorry I missed the Robbo rating. I'd give him 100. Been able to score an assist after a disgusting tackle. Also, I'd give Sadio 8. Again, if you go back and watch the show later, you'll see me reasoning for Robbo. He would have got a 10 if it wasn't for a silly red card. That's why I ended up giving him an 8. Right then, Diogo Jota scores a very good goal. Is clearly fouled for a penalty, which I just cannot believe the referee didn't give, or VAR didn't think was a clear and obvious error. I think Jürgen referenced after the game, Paul Tierney said, Jota slowed down to get fouled. Well, he slows down to try and kick the ball in the goal. You blurt. That's why he slowed down. Nonsense decision. A very good header, by the way, from Jota. He ends up playing in midfield for a bit. At one point, when we bring Bobby Firmino on, he's a jack of all trades. Puts himself out, does a good contribution defensively a couple of times on the edge of his own box. Let's have a little look what you think Jota gets then. Oswald gives him an 8. James said he gets a 7, 7.5 there. Danish gives him an 8. Neverman is here, gives him a 7.5. Paul gives him an 8. Michael gives him an 8. Singe gives him a 7.5. Lots of 8s, lots of 7s as the comments keep rolling through. I think I'm going to give him 8. I thought he was good. I think he should have had a pen. I think he scores a good goal and I think he worked his nuts off. I thought 8 is a fair result. Mo Salah. It's very rare that you say Mohamed Salah doesn't have a major impact in a game, but Mo Salah didn't have a major impact in this game. And it's quite unusual for us to say that stood at this board. I thought he was okay, but he wasn't amazing. I thought, yeah, this is a tough one for Mo. I think I'm probably going to go down the middle a little bit here. I'd love to let you guys to let me know what you thought. Listen, he's always a threat in terms of who he is and his name, and he has a couple of half chances, a couple of decent efforts, and his close control at times was good, but he was very, very quiet. We didn't see a lot of him. Ayaz gives him a 6. Passas gives him a 5. Owen gives him a 5. We've got a 5. We've got a 6 from Mipango. We've got 7s. We've got a 5 from Jake. Salah was off it today, 6. Mo gets a 5.5 from Fordos. Alexia gives him an 8. I think that's a bit too much for me. 7 says Demolition Rob. Off day for him happens to the best. I'm going to give him a 6.5. That's my voting for Mohamed Salah. Right then, the subs bench. Tsimikas and Gomez come on very, very late, didn't they? So it's hard. I don't think we can give either of those too much of a rating. Bobby Firmino was in the game a lot, though, so we'll start with him. He comes on relatively early when the Tyler Morton sub happens, and he ends up playing up front. The red card obviously does him no favours, because then he's asked to go left wing and run around. It doesn't get much of an impact in the game. Let me know, guys, in the chat what you think Bobby's rating should be. My general point of view for all these subs, I think, is to just write a number 6 and put it in the middle, and I think they were all about that. In fact, you know what? Let's have a little think. You got 7s there from Trevor. We've got he's not match fit, says Paul. Give him a 7. 6.5, 7s as well. I think 6.5 says Danish. Bobby worked quite hard, give him a 7, says Singe. 7 again. I'm going to give Bobby a 6.5. I think they're thereabouts. And then the other two, I'm just going to give a 6 because they didn't have to do too much there, did they? So yeah, they're my play ratings. Like I say, I've seen a few people who've joined the show late asking me what's happened to the Allison one. He did make some amazing saves. I completely agree. My 7.5, my rationale for the 7.5 is simple. I think he made a couple of silly errors. I don't think his kicking was amazing at times. I think he gets bailed out of one when him and Trent get into that mix-up. I think he should obviously do better for the goal. I acknowledge he made some world-class saves as well. That's why I've ended up putting him a 7.5. And then we've got an 8 from Robertson. Again, the reason for that one was literally, he would have been a 10 if not for the red card. Some questions here then. Mickey M. Do you think this match might have ended differently if FSG brought us some quality midfielders this summer? I don't know. Who knows? It's a catch-22 because I'm guessing like at some point, if you've got 5 centre mids out, like how many do you want? I suppose if you could have sold someone and made an upgrade on someone else, maybe, but it's really difficult to say that, isn't it? Like when you miss 3 of your number 6s, do you want a 4th one? Are you going to have a squad that's got 4 number 6s? I think in hindsight, if you ask Jürgen again, he might consider putting James Milner as the number 6, maybe playing Chamberlain and maybe playing Keita as the 3rd option. But Tyler Morton's done well when given the opportunity. He earned a place, he earned the right to have a go. It just didn't work out for him. So I'm not sure about that. Wheelstone Raider, I don't think it's that one. He's a disgusting referee. Yeah, he was a joke, I think. I don't disagree with the Robertson red card, but I think Kane should not have been on the pitch. And I think the penalty decision is baffling for me. I'll never, ever understand that. And then we've got to say, basically, Liverpool missing 4 players. We've got 4 midfielders out, whatever we've got with injuries. We've got 5 out, actually, because if you include Harvey Elliott as well. So, that's the point on Tyler. I don't think I've been too harsh, but I felt sorry for the lad, if anything. I think it was the right call to get him off the pitch when Jürgen did. Right then, let's have a little look. My highest rating actually went to Andy Robertson or Diogo Jota. They both got my highest rating. I'm going to find out now from producer Joe. You guys have been voting throughout the show. Who did you guys think was man of the match? Joe, are you going to let me know? Robertson. You guys give Andy Robbo the man of the match award, even though he got sent off. What percentage was that, Joe? 31. With 31%. It wasn't a clear, decisive vote. But yeah, 31% of you give Andy Robertson your man of the match. I'm guessing it would have been a clear, even higher vote if it wasn't for the red card. I'm brave. Guys, thanks so much for joining me in the live chat. You really helped me out a lot because there's some tricky decisions there I had to make. If you're not watching this live and you're watching this post down the line, let me know in the comment section below which of these guys' ratings you agreed with, any that you disagree with. Let me know. If you want to go through and rate all of them yourselves with a little number next to it, please go ahead and do that. We'll make sure we'll be checking that shout out as well. While you're there, give the video a big thumbs up if you don't mind. I'm going to take about 5-10 minutes now to have a little chill and breather. And then me and Chris are going to head on over to Redmen Plus, where we are going to do our instant match reaction for that game. So if you're not subscribed yet, you have a bit of chance to go over to the redmentv.com, become either a club captain subscriber, where you get access to all of our content, everything that we've ever done and everything that we're going to be doing from this point forwards, including said instant match reaction. If you sign up as a club legend, you get all them shows as well, but you get a few extra perks. You get discounts off merchandise. You get access to our free merchandise as well. You get tickets for our live shows as and when we're allowed to do those again, because the way the world's going at the moment, who knows, but plans are in place to get them on again, just as and when we're allowed to, and we're allowed to do it safely. You get access to our Club Legend Discord chat as well, which is a great community of our fans who all love chatting to each other about the game and communicating with us as well. And you'll be included in every one of our Advent prize draws right up to December 25th, where we're giving away a signed frame shirt by King Kenny Dalglish. I say thanks very much for joining, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll be back next time with the play ratings. But until then, I'll see you all later. Ta-ra.
Everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you want more from us, then please do consider joining Redmen Plus, our Liverpool streaming service, with extra shows, bonus features, interviews, and incredible documentaries like Netflix for Liverpool fans. We've got the club captain and the club legend here. If you join as a club legend, you get your name in this wonderful list here. Look at them wonderful legends. Anyway, Redmen Plus on the redmentv.com. Join up.